The producers have no financial interest in this presentation. A 46-year-old female with failed graft and post-filtering surgery was posted for a trial of keratoprosthesis. Following trephination, the removal of hypertrophic epithelium and the diseased corneal button was performed. The cascade of events started with explantation of the prolapsing IOL followed by expulsion of the vitreous body. The telltale sign of darkening and distortion of the red reflex moving from superior to inferior quadrant was noticed, along with shallowing abruptly. The quick succession of marching out of the intraocular contents along with the profuse bleed left me as a mere spectator, and by no means the graft K-Pro device complex could be brought in proximity to the globe, as shown in this unedited video sequence. A fall in IOP and consequently loss of normal physiological equilibrium that had forced blood from the choroid into the vortex veins had resulted in transitation of fluid into the suprachoroidal space. This choroidal separation extending anteriorly, along with detachment of the ciliary body and tearing of the ciliary body vessels with a massive uncontrolled suprachoroidal hemorrhage. Within seconds, following this mental agony, I made my mind and was left with no better option other than evisceration of the residual contents of the globe to restore hemostasis.
The earliest expulsive hemorrhage was reported by Hellman in 1774, but the term expulsive hemorrhage was proposed by Albert Tursin in 1894 for the first time, with a reported incidence of 0.05%. A UK-based case control study showed 60% of eyes complicated with suprachoroidal hemorrhage resulted in lost vision.
I isolated myself from my family and friends, avoiding discussions on the event of surgery. Wherever I was present, the group used to be humorous. But now I started being away from everyone. I started asking why it happened to me. I lost my hopes and dreams of seeing my children and was frustrated. Anyone who talked with me were perceived by me as they were arguing, fighting, and yelling at me. Just like a child, I started blaming why this miracle did not happen to me. Like a mad lady, I behaved with my children and husband. How will I face the world with a disfigured eye and face? I was pushed to an extreme stage and started thinking of committing suicide, asking myself why to live. And there was no reasons why I lived.
She came out of her psychological stress and started cooking and doing other activities. And now she feels better.
Our patient had severe grief reactions right from post-operative day 1 for a week, and the same sequence was reported which persisted for 2 months. According to the World Mental Health Survey, there are associations between mental disorders and subsequent onset of hypertension because both share common pathways said to have increased sympathetic tone.
to this patient, who is not a known case of hypertensive, developed astrotic hypertension after evisceration of eye. It was not controlled by routine medical management and needed admission.
The relative risk for uncontrolled hypertension in depressed patients is 15.5. A meta-analysis demonstrated 42% increased risk for hypertension.
A person loses his important organ like eye, produce various psychological and emotional problems. She has not only lost the hope of regaining a mini illusion, but she has also developed a severe disfigurement which led to this grief. I have seen many cases in this grief reaction like amputation of the limb, mastectomy, and also the amputation of the penis.
The famous Jacob Matthew case, the Honorable Supreme Court made various guidelines to follow whenever legal action should be taken for any commission or omission against the doctors. So that he has rightly performed evisceration and saved the life of the patient. Young doctors taking into consideration of various medical legal aspects, and the law is in favor of doctors when discharging their duties in a proper, adopting all skills and other things.
On the day of surgery, I was an assistant to the main surgeon, was accompanied by a feeling of anguish that every ophthalmic surgeon should expect.
Suprachoroidal hemorrhage, a rare disastrous complication most anterior segment surgeons will face at least once in their lifetime. Withdraw all surgical instruments to achieve a watertight closure of all surgical wounds. Secure incisions to pressurize the globe, just clearing the presented vitreous at the section. A delay in wound closure would result in phthisis or in evisceration in 43% cases. The doctor-patient relationship has been, since the time of Hippocrates, it has received philosophical, sociological, and literary attention, and it has been a guide in decision-making in healthcare plans.
The positive factors were a great surgeon-patient relationship, not alone involving a good preoperative counseling and outcomes prediction, along with shared decision-making, but also the postoperative psychological support rendered as a team to her.
I failed as a surgeon with her. However, I was successful as a doctor in her grief recovery. Perhaps I won her soul as a human and a good Samaritan.